In the year 2035, the world has made huge progress. A company called bionic creates special artificial body parts that can be attached to people who are missing arms or legs. These parts make the person much stronger and faster than a normal person. People with these parts are called bionics. However, there are some people who don't like the bionics and want to fight against them. The story starts with a man who walks into a bank. When he tries to enter, a red light flashes, but he explains that his hand is made of a strong metal called titanium. The security guards are okay with this and let him in. He goes to a special room where he can open his lockers using his face and eye scans. Inside the lockers, he finds 3 extra artificial hands, including one that has a built-in weapon. He replaces his titanium hand with the weapon hand and then kills the bank staff and breaks into a locker to steal diamonds. The bank's security team arrives to stop him, but his robotic hand is too powerful and he fights them off. However, he gets hurt in the process and tries to escape. To avoid getting caught, he grabs a woman as a hostage and runs away from the bank. After escaping from the bank, the man meets his brother, Heitor. He's badly hurt and tells Heitor that he can't go on anymore. He hands over the stolen diamonds to his brother and says that Heitor will have to continue on his own. Then the man takes his own life. The police are closing in, so Heitor has to flee, leaving his brother's body behind. The story then shifts to a girl named Maria. She's a long jump champion and wants to follow in her mother Helena's footsteps, who was also a champion in the same event. Maria has been training since she was a kid to replace her mother as a champion, and now she's finally achieved her goal. Maria talks about her sister Gabi, who's also a long jump champion. However, Gabi has a robotic right leg, which is a bionic prosthesis. With her advanced leg, Gabi sets a new record in long jump. Maria explains that Gabi's career was taking off when the bionic revolution happened, changing everything. People started getting bionic prostheses to enhance their abilities, making them much stronger and faster than normal people. As a result, the value of natural athletes like Maria has been declining over time. The police arrive at the scene where the man's body lies. It's revealed that he was a boxer named Atleta. When the bionic revolution began, his career was destroyed. In a desperate attempt to stay competitive, Atleta faked an accident to get his right hand amputated, hoping to receive a bionic prosthesis. However, he was caught and denied the prosthetic. To use a bionic limb, a special implant called NIM is required. NIM is a chip that's implanted inside the body. Atleta had managed to get his hands on a NIM chip from a deceased para-athlete who had lost their life. The same chip was now inside Atleta's head. The story then shifts to Atleta's brother, Heitor, who visits a boxing academy. He hands over the stolen diamonds to his friends. A tech-savvy boy named Gustavo, who goes by the nickname Uncle Hard, arrives on the scene. Heitor asks Gustavo why he wants to join their movement. Gustavo replies that he's fed up with the current state of affairs and wants to bring about change. After that, Gustavo examines the diamonds and tells Heitor about their quality. He estimates that they can sell them for at least $500,000. However, the hackers who help them are demanding $1 million. Heitor is not worried, saying that they can create their own bionic limb, just like he did for his brother Atleta, but this time using a different method. They won't need to rely on someone else's support. Gustavo mentions that he knows someone who can help them, and they both head to an abandoned stadium where Maria's jogging. It's revealed that Gustavo is Maria's brother. Maria starts sharing stories about her family, saying that she and her sister Gabi always competed with each other. Meanwhile, her brother Gustavo, also known as Uncle Hard, spent most of his time on his phone. Then their mother suddenly left them, which was a huge shock. As time passed, Maria and Gustavo grew closer. Now Gustavo introduces his sister to Heitor. Maria explains that she comes to this deserted stadium because it reminds her of the current state of athletes today. Gustavo fills his sister in on the project, but Maria says she'll talk to both of them later. After that, they focus on the company that manufactures bionic prostheses, bionic, which is led by Dario and Ricardo, who is also Gabi and Maria's father. The demand for these bionics is skyrocketing worldwide. Initially, the project was designed to help injured soldiers in the army, but now it's in high demand everywhere, even in the sports industry. With the upcoming NIM's update, the prosthetics will become even more powerful, increasing their speed and strength by 30%. Dario and Ricardo are discussing the update with Wanda, Gabi's manager. They're excited that after the update, Gabi will become even faster and stronger, breaking new records. Meanwhile, Maria arrives to meet Heitor, who is handing out juice to the athletes. He talks to Maria and shares stories about his brother, saying that at the beginning of the bionic revolution, his brother was at the top of his boxing career, but after the arrival of prosthetics, things became very tough for normal athletes. Maria corrects him, saying it's not just tough, but impossible. She reveals that she's had to take numerous injections just to compete with bionic athletes. Heitor suggests that Maria should become bionic herself, promising that she'll become the best in the world and unbeatable. That night, Maria sees an advertisement featuring her sister Gabby, which sparks feelings of jealousy because Gabby is a bionic athlete. Maria returns home to find her father, Ricardo, Dario, and Gabby hosting a party where they're celebrating Gabby's achievements as one of the top athletes. When Gabby greets her elder sister, a brief argument ensues, with Gabby accusing Maria of always being jealous of her and feeling happy whenever Gabby comes wins. Gabby even says that if their father weren't around, she would have always been in Maria's shadow. Their father, Ricardo, intervenes, asking what's going on between them, but they downplay the incident, saying Maria just got angry. However, Maria's frustration boils over, and she lashes out at the party, saying that the world has changed dramatically. She points out that bionic athletes can now jump twice as far as normal athletes, so why would anyone bother watching normal players? She targets the bionic athletes present at the party, saying that they've become uninspiring and that the sport has become all about sponsors and money. Finally, Maria tells her sister that Gabby no longer inspires her. With that, Maria storms out of the party, leaving the others in an uncomfortable silence. After the argument, Maria takes her bike and listens to an Italian opera song that her mother used to sing to her. Suddenly, she gets into an accident and is rushed to the hospital, where she slowly loses consciousness. When she wakes up, she sees Heitor standing in front of her, surrounded by her family. They're all asking her what happened, and Maria breaks down in tears when she realizes she's lost her right leg. The doctors calm her down with an injection. Meanwhile, the police are investigating Heitor and his group, who are suspected of creating bionic athletes by amputating their limbs. They're trying to gather more information about this group. Back to Maria, she receives a message from Heitor asking if she's received his gift. Gabby tries to encourage Maria to walk without crutches, but Maria struggles and falls. After summoning some courage, she manages to stand for a while. Gabby then gives Maria a gift from Heitor, which contains a doll with a fake leg. The implication is that Heitor is offering Maria a bionic prosthetic to replace her lost leg. In the next part, NIM is now inside Maria's head. Dr. Dario takes care of Maria and checks her from head to toe. He says the implant is a success. Then she gets a new artificial leg attached. Maria is overjoyed and can do things she couldn't do before. She starts running and doing everything like before. Meanwhile, the police are watching Heitor. Gustavo finds out that his sister Maria now has a bionic body part too. Maria tries to do a long jump, but suddenly Dr. Dario says her energy levels are dropping. This means she can't jump far. Dr. Dario warns her that if her energy levels reach zero, she will fall into a coma. They tell her she needs at least 12 hours of sleep to recharge. Just then, Heitor arrives. Maria and Heitor start having fun together. Heitor can't stop touching Maria's new artificial leg in a flirtatious way. After some time, Heitor tells Maria that it's time for them to take revenge. He wants to avenge his brother's downfall, and Maria should do the same for her mother and all the athletes who were overshadowed by bionic athletes. Maria agrees, but only on the condition that her brother Gustavo is kept out of it. Next, we see a bank truck carrying a large amount of money. Maria, along with Heitor's team, orchestrates an accident involving the truck, which injures the people inside. Maria throws a smoke bomb into the truck, forcing the guards to exit. Heitor then kills one of the guards, which shocks Maria. They have to flee the scene quickly as the police are arriving. Once they return to their base, Maria is furious with Heitor and starts yelling at him, saying that this is not the right way to take revenge. Heitor responds that it's necessary, as the guards saw Maria's face and they had to eliminate them. He adds that to win, you have to lose something, and who better to understand that than Maria herself. Maria sees her brother Gustavo there and starts shouting at Heitor again, accusing him of not keeping Gustavo out of it as promised. However, Gustavo reveals that he came of his own free will. Heitor reveals that Gustavo was the mastermind behind the plan and that they stole a large sum of money from the truck to pay hackers for information on the next delivery of NIM implants by the Bionic company. Their plan is to attack the 10 athletes who are about to become bionics, all of whom are similar to Maria. Maria tries to leave with her brother, but Gustavo says that this is just the beginning of the war and wants to stay and continue the fight. He tells Maria to leave, and she reluctantly departs. The police arrive at the scene of the truck accident and interview a surviving guard, who describes the group of attackers, including one with a bionic leg. The police start to suspect Maria's involvement, and the lady officer wonders why the attackers would risk being caught on camera. They decide to review the footage of Maria's accident to see if it provides any clues. Meanwhile, Maria is reflecting on her life, believing that everything happens for a reason and that she just needs to trust in her destiny. Her sister Gabby approaches her and notices her bionic leg, asking if something happened to her. Maria downplays the incident, saying she just fell while landing. Their father then arrives and reveals that 2 bionic athletes will be participating in the upcoming game, with Maria and Gabi being the competitors. He also announces that the Bionic company is willing to sponsor Maria, which makes her extremely happy. However, Gabi doesn't seem thrilled about the news. The sisters start arguing, and it's clear that their rivalry is about to heat up. Later at the training ground, a police officer arrives to speak with Gustavo and notices the Heitor group tattoo on his hand. Meanwhile, the tension between the sisters, Maria and Gabi, continues to escalate as they train. The police officer tries to intervene, but Maria uses her bionic prosthetic leg to kick him to the ground. She demands to know if they've found the person responsible for her accident, but the officer says they haven't. Maria storms off, leaving the officer to speak with Ricardo. The officer reveals that the car involved in Maria's accident has disappeared, and the registration details lead to a person who is not only alive, but also received a call about the accident before it even happened. The officer asks the family if they know anything about Heitor, but Gustavo becomes defensive and tells the officer to leave him out of it. The next day, Gustavo informs Heitor that the police are now tracking Maria. Gabi, who has been eavesdropping on their conversation, makes an excuse to skip training. Meanwhile, Maria is training for the long jump event. On the other hand, Gabi listens to a recording of the police receiving news about the accident and notices an Italian opera playing in the background. She realizes that her sister Maria was the one who caused the accident. The day of the competition arrives, and Gabi sets a new record with a jump of 16.7 meters. Maria then takes her turn and breaks the world record, surpassing Gabi's achievement. Gabi is shocked to see her elder sister take the top spot. In the second round, both sisters break the world record again, but Maria remains ahead. Meanwhile, Gustavo receives the details from the hackers, and Dario notices that Gabi's numbers are dropping due to stress. Everyone is worried that Gabi won't be able to jump further, as it would be too risky. However, Gabi insists on continuing. Unfortunately, she falls on her face and Maria wins the competition, becoming the new champion. Gabi's condition is critical, and Maria realizes that she will never be able to participate in the game again. Maria confronts her father, Ricardo, asking why he had to create a competition between them. Ricardo responds that everything he did was for the future of both his daughters. When Gabi regains consciousness, Maria is by her side, and Gabi reveals that she knows the truth, that Maria deliberately got into an accident to become bionic. Gabi plays the recording of the police receiving news about the accident, which reveals that Heitor was behind the accident. The recording shows Heitor playing Italian opera in his car, and then he himself hits Maria's bike. Heitor reveals that he has learned about the NIM's delivery and tells Maria that they will start a new revolution. However, they need to take immediate action. Maria refuses to cooperate, and Heitor becomes angry, reminding her that she owes him a debt. He was the one who helped her get the bionic leg and the sponsors. Maria leaves, frustrated and upset. After that, we see Heitor's uncle and Gustavo secretly adding something to Maria's drink, which renders her unable to walk. Heitor's uncle then kidnaps Gabi and brutally beats Ricardo. Maria witnesses the entire scene, but is powerless to intervene. Gustavo starts yelling at Heitor, accusing him of breaking his promise to spare his father. Heitor calms Gustavo down, telling him to trust him, and turns to Maria demanding that she support him until the end, no matter what happens. Heitor then briefs Maria on the plan, instructing her to infiltrate the bionic building by jumping from a nearby building. Her mission is to retrieve a briefcase containing the implant before it can be locked away in a vault. Maria successfully executes the plan, jumping into the bionic building, overpowering the security guards, and stealing the briefcase. She quickly escapes the scene, with the police hot on her tail. Meanwhile, Dario discovers that the implant has been stolen, and Maria is the prime suspect. The police arrive at the scene, and they too witness the aftermath of Maria's daring heist. On her way, Maria sees Heitor's bike and in a fit of rage, attacks the rider, only to discover that it's her own brother, Gustavo, who is badly injured and ultimately dies. Heitor appears and Maria is about to attack him, but he knocks her unconscious. When she regains consciousness, her sister Gabi is in front of her. Heitor hands the briefcase containing the implants to his boss, and Maria is outraged, realizing that Heitor's motives were purely financial and not driven by a desire for justice for his brother. Heitor and his boss open the briefcase, expecting to find 10 implants, but instead, they're surprised to find many more, which could be used to create an army of bionics. As they celebrate their potential wealth, Maria suddenly drops the implants and attacks Heitor. A fierce fight ensues, with Maria's bionic abilities giving her the upper hand. Gabi also breaks free from her restraints, Just as Maria is about to deliver a finishing blow to Heitor, he attacks her from behind with a knife, intending to kill Gabby as well. Maria is about to strike Heitor's head with her foot, but decides to spare his life. As the police approach, Gabby urges Maria to escape, and the police give chase. However, Maria becomes entangled in a wire fence, and an officer offers to help her. But Maria uses her bionic leg to break free and falls to the ground, badly injured. Before the police can reach her, Gabby rescues her sister and they both flee. Meanwhile, Gustavo is being monitored by Dario. The story jumps forward 6 months and the sisters are still on the run. However, the police have closed the case, having recovered the stolen implants and exposed Heitor's gang. In a rural area, away from the city, the two sisters, Maria and Gabi, have opened a gym in their mother's name where they train bionic children. Dario, who has been supporting them, visits and praises their work, but asks how they managed to fund the gym. Maria hints that she has a way to take care of the finances. Later, the sisters meet with Heitor's boss and propose an alliance, suggesting that they can raise an army of bionics, but only need the 3 of them to do so. The boss is skeptical, seeing only 2 of them, but they reveal that Gustavo, now fully bionic, is the 3rd member. The boss is impressed by their talent and agrees to work with them. In return for their services, the boss will provide them with funding, which Maria, Gabi, and Gustavo will use to support their good deeds, unlike Heitor's nefarious plans. With this, the film comes to a close. Thanks for tuning in, guys.